Welcome back, Parlay Politicians. We are going to be breaking down the International Fight Week. The main event is Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. And yeah, let's get right into it. Kicking off the fight card in the heavyweight division, we got Hamdi Abdulwahab taking on Muhammad Usman. Now, Hamdi Abdulwahab, he's 4-0 right now in his professional career. I know he popped for steroids a while back. I'm not too sure how long that was. It's probably like 3 years ago. And since coming back, he's kind of looked fat and sloppy, you know, kind of gases, but he does have power. He's got good defensive wrestling, and I believe that's where he beats Muhammad Usman. Muhammad Usman is a big dude, powerful. His striking is, we watched that fight where he fought Mick Park, and his striking looked fucking atrocious. Then he's fought Thomas Peterson. Striking didn't look good there either. Peterson just took him down and pretty much had his way with him. Muhammad Usman, he obviously worked his way back up to the feet because he is a strong dude, but once he starts to gas and get tired, his striking is just very lackluster, very sloppy. So yeah, I'm gonna be picking Hamdi Abdulwahab to beat Muhammad Usman, and I do believe this fight goes over 2.5 rounds. If you want to be on the safe side, they're in Azerbaijan, so if it goes to the decision and it's a close fight, the judges, they're gonna give it to Hamdi Abdulwahab. It's only right that they do, because you're in Azerbaijan, Baku, and Muhammad Usman. Yeah. On to the next one. The next fight on the card is in the men's flyweight division. We got Tagir Ulanbekov taking on Azat Maksum. Now, Tagir Ulanbekov, dude's pretty dynamic, good wrestler, good striking, just good pressure. He's going to be in your face the whole time. He's not just going to let you tee off on him. His last fight, he beat Clayton Carpenter. Clayton Carpenter was a prospect coming into the sport, 8-0 at the time. Clayton Carpenter is still good. He just had a tall task on his hand facing Tagir Ulanbekov, and Tagir Ulanbekov beat him by unanimous decision. Fight before that, submits Cody Durden. Cody Durden is not a bum. He has questionable fight IQ. If you watched the last fucking fight card he was on, which was, I believe, last week, where he just goes out there in the second round, starts swinging, and gets knocked out immediately. But it is what it is. He's taking on Azat Maksum. Azat Maksum, 15-1 in his professional career. His only loss coming to Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson's a dog, so we can't hold that loss against him. Charles Johnson is really good. Other than that, his resume is not impressive at all. His only win, and so he's 1-1 in the UFC. His only win is against Tyson Nam, and Tyson Nam was like 40 at that time, and Tyson Nam gave him hell. Honestly, a lot of people say that Tyson Nam won, but I think that Tagir Ulanbekov is just levels ahead of Azat Maksum, and his UFC experience is going to show. And I believe he does pick up another win here. Maksum, he's not bad, but that's a tough task on your hand fighting Tagir Ulanbekov. So Tagir Ulanbekov is the pick. I can see this fight going over 1.5 rounds. Yeah, I think that's a good bet. This fight goes over 1.5 rounds, but Tagir Ulanbekov is going to be on my money line, and I'll probably put him on another slip with it going over 1.5 rounds. So on to the next one. The next fight on the card is in the women's bantamweight division. We got Irina Alekseeva taking on Claudia Saigula. Claudia Saigula, 6-2 in her professional career. Her only loss in the UFC comes to Melissa Mullins, but before that, she was, tearing the fucking regional scene up, to say the least. She was, doing really good on the regional scene. She's taking on Irina Alekseeva. Alekseeva's decent, well-rounded, got more grit in her than Saigula, and both of them coming off of losses to Melissa Mullins, who's also on this card. Melissa Mullins is a cold piece. I ain't gonna say she's a cold piece, but I fuck with her. I fuck with Melissa Mullins, man. She's intriguing. But anyway, the pick is going to be Irina Alekseeva. I'm not playing MMA math here, but the fact that Melissa Mullins grounded and pounded Claudia Saigula out, and she went to the distance with Irina Alekseeva shows me that Alekseeva has a little bit more dog in her, regardless of the MMA math. I believe that she's just a little bit grittier. This is obviously a fight that I'm not going to bet on. I wouldn't recommend anybody betting on this fight because, Alekseeva's been out for almost 2 years. So that's never a good look, but she should be able to get it done against Claudia Saigula. On to the next. Next fight on the card is again in the women's bantamweight division. We got Diana Zelezniakova taking on Melissa Mullins, the one who I was just talking about. And Melissa Mullins has beat every girl on this card, including the girl she's fighting right now in Daria Zelezniakova. Yeah, Melissa Mullins pretty much got her to the ground, TKO'd her there. And yeah, just Melissa Mullins is the pick. Alekseeva. Zelezniakova has a clear hole in her game, which is, not being able to get off her back when she gets taken down, or not being able to know what to do when she gets taken down. And that's Melissa Mullins' bread and butter. She's pressure heavy with the grappling. And she did lose to Nora Cornell, but Nora Cornell's pretty decent in the striking. So I can't hold that against her. That's Melissa Mullins' only loss. And yeah, I like the no mess Mullins. She got that look in her eyes where that she gonna fight for your bread regardless, tooth and nail. And she should be better than Zelezniakova all around, and she's gonna beat her again, to say the least. And yeah, Melissa Mullins will be making my bet slips because I got faith in her over Zelezniakova. Zelezniakova, last fight gets armbarred by Eileen Perez, and then Eileen Perez starts twerking on her fucking head, literally shaking ass all in her face while she's getting up. So yeah, I can't trust the takedown defense or the ground game of Zelezniakova. Melissa Mullins, she gonna get the job done. The next fight on the card is in the men's middleweight division. We got Ismail Nurdiev taking on Jung Young Park. Nurdiev's good. Both of these fighters are really good. This is a close fight, if you ask me. I just don't know if Nurdiev is going to be able to, stop the takedowns of fucking Jung Young Park. Because Jung Young Park, he, once he locks in that body, once he gets that body lock, he's just gonna drag you down to the ground, and he got some solid ground and pound. Like, Jung Young Park is good, man. He's always been on the cusp of getting one big fight, and he just can never get that one big fight for some reason. In his last 5 fights, he's 4-1, and Nurdiev in his last 5 fights, he's 3-2. So Park is just, I believe he's going to be just a step ahead of Nurdiev. Park's got some good striking too. Nurdiev's got some good striking too. Park ain't no pushover. Nurdiev ain't no pushover either. Nurdiev 24-7 in his professional career. Jung Young Park 18-6. I just think that Jung Young Park is going to have that wrestling edge over him. I believe he will be able to get the fight down to the ground. And I don't know if Nurdiev is going to be able to, keep bouncing back. He's going to pop back up after the first takedown, don't get me wrong, but once Jung Young Park is mixing up his striking with his wrestling, I think he might just be able to wilt on Nurdiev. So I'm going to take Jung Young Park. This is another fight that I won't be betting on, though, because there's a pathway for Ismail Nurdiev to win. And that's only if Jung Young Park, can't get them takedowns. And then it's primarily just a striking affair, which I believe Nurdiev might have the slight advantage on the feet. But like I said, Jung Young Park ain't no bum. Jung Young Park, he cracks. He got good hands. Like, he's pretty powerful as well. So that's the pick. The next fight on the card is in the men's welterweight division. We got Sung Young Ko taking on Oban Elliott. Both of these fighters are pretty good strikers. They're pretty good, well-rounded strikers. I give the edge and patience to Oban Elliott. He's a little bit more calculated. And this is Sung Young Ko's official UFC debut. I mean, he had that nice. I'm not gonna say a nice win on the Contender Series. I mean, he went to a decision with Igor Cavalcante, but Igor Cavalcante was what 9-0 going into that fight, and Sung Young Ko gave him his first loss. So can't say that he's not doing what he's supposed to do. Sung Young Ko, he's pretty rangy. He's got some dynamic striking. Oban Elliott is going to have the height advantage. He's going to have a slight reach advantage, nothing crazy. It's only about 1 inch. Sung Young Ko 11-2 in his career. Oban Elliott 12-2 in his career. And Oban Elliott coming off that nasty knockout win over Basil Hafez about 6 months ago. So yeah, I believe that this is a big test for you to get during your UFC debut. And these UFC debuts from the people coming from the Contender Series, Bellator, Rizin, fucking any other organization where a fighter's doing good in, and they send them to the UFC, and then the UFC gives them somebody like fucking Oban Elliott. Yeah, man, put your money on Oban Elliott, because the UFC is just continuing to prove that it is leagues ahead of all these other fight promotions. I mean, look what happened last UFC 316 with Patchy Mix and Mario Bautista. Mario Bautista beat the fucking brakes off Patchy Mix. And Patchy Mix, I was rooting for my boy Patchy Mix, because I'm a Patchy Mix believer. I believe Patchy Mix is good, but like I said, the UFC is just clearly showing that there's levels to this shit. And, somebody who's ranked number 7 in the UFC will probably beat somebody who's got a title in Bellator or PFL. That's just, it's just leagues ahead. But like I said, Oban Elliott is going to be the pick. More patient on the feet, more calculated. He got bombs in his hands. And Sung Young Ko, I mean, he's there to be hit. Like, he blitzes in, and he just has no real head movement. So I don't see him being able to outlast Oban Elliott. So I don't think that this fight will go the distance either. I think Oban Elliott can get him out of there before the 15 minutes is up. The next fight on the card is in the men's featherweight division. We got Muhammad Naimov taking on Bogdan Grad. Muhammad Naimov 12-3 in his professional career. Bogdan Grad 15-2 his professional career. Yeah, this is Bogdan Grad's second fight in the UFC. He's coming off that knockout win over Lucas Alexander. I mean, Lucas Alexander, he's had better days. So I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, man, that was top tier. Had a good split decision win over Michael Aswell in the Contender Series. That was a back and forth war. They both went after it. They both, they did their fucking thing. They went out there and they banged. But yeah, Bogdan Grad on a 4-fight winning streak right now. Muhammad Naimov beat Con Ofley his last fight. Lost to Felipe Lima the fight before that. But Felipe Lima, we saw Felipe Lima's a fucking dog. Felipe Lima's good as shit. And I'm looking forward to seeing him fight again. I believe Muhammad Naimov is going to take this, though. I believe he's going to have a better game plan, because Bogdan Grad, he's hell in high waters. He's going to come out there, he's going to bang, and he's going to try to clip you with something big. He's got good Thai boxing, good kickboxing. He's got some power to him, but the technique for me is just not all there. And I believe Muhammad Naimov will be able to be more versatile in this fight. I believe he will be able to mix in the takedowns and pretty much capitalize on Bogdan Grad swinging for the fences at times, because that's how Bogdan Grad likes to go. He just likes to bang, and I believe he's going to make a mistake, and Muhammad Naimov is going to drag him down to the ground, and I believe Muhammad Naimov is going to maybe even get a submission here. Never know, but Muhammad Naimov is good. I'm not going to hold that Felipe Lima lost to him, because nobody knew how good Felipe Lima was. The next fight on the card is in the men's lightweight division. We got Nazim Sadykhov taking on Nicholas Mota. Nazim Sadykhov is going to be the pick. I'm not even going to draw this one out too long. Nicholas Mota has a puncher's chance in this fight. That's literally it. Sadykhov, well-rounded, very dynamic. That high kick fucking doctor stoppage that he got over Ishmael Bonfim in his last fight was absolutely disgusting. I mean, hit him with a nasty switch kick, cut, I believe gave him a cut right above his eyebrow or right on the eyebrow. Doctors walked in, and I don't believe Bonefim wanted to keep fighting anyway, to be honest. So the doctors walked in, they stopped the fight, and yeah, Nazim Sadikov got another doctor stoppage win over Evan Elder. We've seen how good Evan Elder is. You know, a few fight cards ago, Evan Elder is a dog. Yeah, I mean Nicholas Mota, he's a vet in the UFC. You know, he's a UFC veteran, but I don't think that he's gonna have this in him to take on a Nazim Sadikov, and I believe this fight will not go the distance. Somebody's going to sleep, somebody's getting choked out, and I believe Nazim Sadikov is more well-rounded than Nicholas Mota. I mean, Nicholas Mota, he's got power. I mean, he knocked out Tom Nolan, got knocked out by Manuel Torres, knocked out Cameron Van Camp, but yeah, Nazim Sadikov is going to be the pick. He's going to be able to mix it in a lot better. He's got more ways to win than Nicholas Mota does. Next fight on the card is in the men's lightweight division. We got Tafik Musayev making his UFC debut, coming from Rizin and Bellator, taking on Miktabek Orablai. Miktabek Orablai is a dog. Miktabek Orablai is very fucking good, very fucking durable. No quitting him. The dude's gonna be in your face the entire time. If you watch the Mateusz Rebecki fight that he fought Mateusz Rebecki, oh man, that was a motherfucking war. They were going at it, and I mean, he lost that fight by a split decision, but if that fight had another 2 rounds in it, Miktabek Orablai was going to drown Mateusz Rebecki, because Mateusz Rebecki was huffing and puffing at the end of the fight, and Miktabek Orablai was just in his face, just constantly pressuring him. Like I said earlier, these Rizin debuts, Bellator debuts, I just don't think that they are ready for the level of competition that the UFC is throwing at them. And it's crazy because when you're over in these other organizations and you're doing real fucking good and you go get signed to the UFC, they're immediately going to give you a killer. And they gave Tafik Musayev a fucking killer, a motherfucker who's very durable. Like this motherfucker to Miktabek Orablai, yeah, it's Miktabek Orablai pick all day. I mean, Tafik Musayev, he is good, but I don't think that he's gonna have nothing for Miktabek Orablai. You feel me? Like, Rizin is not the UFC. Bellator is not the UFC. I mean, when you go in here and get a guy on your debut like a Miktabek Orablai or a Oban Elliott, 9 times out of 10, these guys are going to win because they're already established in the UFC. They already know that they got that dog in them, and the UFC knows that they got that dog in them. So the UFC is like, yeah, go ahead and give him, and we'll see how good he is. So tall test for Tafik Musayev on his UFC debut. I think Miktabek Orablai gets this job done. I do see this fight going the distance. I could see Miktabek Orablai winning, a unanimous decision here. It wouldn't be too crazy, not at all. He got the chance to put him away too. I mean, Miktabek Orablai, he's got submission wins, he got knockout wins. So, and that's the same thing for Tafik Musayev. He's got knockout wins. He's been knocked out by Alexander Chablis. Alexander Chablis is good. Beat Cindy Outlaw. He's got submission wins as well. So yeah, the pick is Miktabek Orablai. I ain't gonna make that one too long. The next fight on the card is in the men's heavyweight division. We got Curtis Blaydes taking on Rizvan Kuniev. Rizvan Kuniev, again, making his another UFC debut. That's like, what, 3 UFC debuts? I think all the UFC debuters are going to lose. But then again, it's Curtis Blaydes we talking about. Curtis Blaydes, man, his resume is just levels ahead of Rizvan Kuniev. Like, it's not even close, the level of competitions that Curtis Blaydes have been fighting. I mean, he's 3-2 in his last 5, and his 2 losses are to Sergey Pavlovich and Tom Aspinall. Fight before losing to Tom Aspinall, he fucking TKOs Jailton Almeida with hammer fist when Jailton Almeida is just sniffing his crotch. Because, Jailton Almeida, that's his game plan. He wants to get the fight down to the ground where he's strong, where he's more well-rounded. And, I mean, honestly, Jailton Almeida's last fight, I believe he got a knockout. So, Jailton Almeida, his hands are looking better. So, and that's a scary dude at the heavyweight division. Jailton Almeida's cold, and Curtis Blaydes beat him. So, yeah, I'm gonna ride with Curtis Blaydes on this, man. Rizvan Kuniev, like, yeah, he's got a win on the Contender Series against a guy who's 8-1, and he also popped for steroids when he was fighting in the PFL. When he fought Hanan Fajeda, he beat Hanan Fajeda, the fucking giant of the PFL who got knocked out by Francis Ngannou. He beat him by unanimous decision, but he was roided to the gills. So takes 2 years off after that. Fights another guy on the Contender Series, gets a KO, TKO win over him. Yeah, man, I'm not impressed. I believe Curtis Blaydes, he's gonna win this. He needs a win. He needs a bounce back win for sure, because Curtis Blaydes is, still the top of the food chain in the heavyweight division. He's gonna be more athletic. He's gonna be more in shape than Rizvan Kuniev, and if he can stop the takedowns, yeah, this is gonna be Curtis Blaydes all day. But this is a fight I will not bet on, though. So I would advise you to not bet on it as well. And if you do bet on it, bet that the fight does not go the distance. Like, you don't got to play the money lines on this fight. I might play that the fight does not go the distance, but I'm not money lining Curtis Blaydes or Rizvan Kuniev, but I do think Curtis Blaydes gets the job done. The next fight on the card is the co-main event. We got Rafael Fiziev taking on Ignacio Bahamondes. Rafael Fiziev, 12-4 in his professional career. Ignacio Bahamondes, 17-5 in his career. Rafael Fiziev on a 3-fight losing streak. But we got to look at who he's losing to. Lost to Justin Gaethje, lost to Mateus Gamrot, and then another loss to Justin Gaethje. So those are top of the food chain type people right there. We can't hold that against Rafael Fiziev. Rafael Fiziev is going to be outsized in this fight, at least with the height. I mean, Ignacio Bahamondes is 6'3", and Fiziev is 5'8". Fiziev, he's strong, he's powerful, he's got great Muay Thai. I believe he is actually a Muay Thai coach at Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand. So he's got the top of the level striking behind him. Ignacio Bahamondes is good, man. I know a lot of people are taking Fiziev in this fight, but Bahamondes on a 3-fight winning streak, knocked out Christos Giagos. Christos Giagos, not good. Knocks out Manuel Torres. Manuel Torres is decent. Manuel Torres got power. He could throw. And I mean, Ignacio Bahamondes, every time Manuel Torres come in with his straight 1-2s, he was perfectly slipping back in time in that counter right. Dropped Manuel Torres twice in that fight. The second time dropped him, just pounced on top of him and got a TKO win over him. And then the fight after that, he fights Jalen Turner. They both had the fight didn't last long. They both had some success on the feet. Somehow they end up on the ground. It wasn't a takedown or a wrestling takedown from Jalen Turner. I believe Ignacio Bahamondes threw a kick or something, and they just kind of fell. Jalen Turner just fell on top of him, to say the least. And then not too long after Jalen Turner falls on top of him, Ignacio Bahamondes shows that he's got a ground game. Throws up the triangle, submits Jalen Turner. Yeah, man, I believe that Rafael Fiziev is in trouble here. I believe Ignacio Bahamondes, with the size advantage and the slight reach advantage, I believe that counter shot's going to be there for him all day. Because Fiziev, he going to blitz in. He's got to try his best to connect that chin, and he's got to do everything he can to get in close. And Ignacio Bahamondes got some real good striking. He got snapping body kicks, snapping head kicks, powerful straight rights, powerful hooks. Like, Bahamondes is good, man. So I'm riding with Bahamondes on this one. And that brings us to our main event of the evening in the light heavyweight division. We got Jamal Hill taking on Khalil Rountree. Jamal Hill on a 2-fight losing streak, 12-3 in his professional career. Khalil Rountree, 13-6 in his professional career, coming off one loss to Alex Pereira. Jamal Hill lost to Alex Pereira and then lost to Yuri Prochazka. Both of these fighters, they lost to, people in the top of the division, so we can't hold that against them. Before Jamal Hill lost to Alex Pereira, he did have the title, but he did take it off of a old man Glover Teixeira. So we can't sit here and be like, oh no, he was just dominating everybody in the division. He's got some good wins, don't get me wrong. Knocked out Johnny Walker, knocked out Thiago Santos. That Jamal Hill is the Jamal Hill that I would bet money on to win against Khalil Rountree. But since he had that freak injury where I believe he was playing basketball and he tore his Achilles heel, he has just not looked the same, man. And then he's every time he comes in the fight now, like the Alex Pereira fight and the Yuri Prochazka fight, the man is his body is just looking sloppy as fuck. I'm like, bro, come on, man. You's a professional fighter getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to perform. Why the fuck do you come in the ring with a muffin top, bro? I'm gonna need that Jamal Hill that beat the Glover Teixeira, the Jamal Hill that beat Thiago Santos, and Jamal Hill that beat Johnny Walker to show up before I ever bet on him again. Straight like that. Because you're taking on Khalil Rountree. Khalil Rountree is a great Muay Thai striker. He throws oblique kicks. He's got power in his hands. But surprisingly, I give the slight edge and power to Jamal Hill, though. I think Jamal Hill will have more power in his hands than Khalil Rountree. Khalil Rountree can take a punch. He can deliver one back. Jamal Hill, though, for me, like when he throws these punches, leans back, chin up in the air, and like kind of throws hooks, He'll come in, throw a straight right down the pipe, and then once that counter's coming, he'll lean back, head just straight up in the air, and throw a hook. And it's just not a good look, man. It's not a good look at all. So I do believe this one is close. This one's gonna be close in my opinion, but I do believe Khalil Rountree can get it done. I can't bet on Jamal Hill no more. I bet for Jamal Hill to beat Alex Pereira. I bet for Jamal Hill to beat Yuri Prochazka, and he burned me twice. The third time is not finna be the charm for me. Khalil Rountree is gonna be my pick, but I'm not gonna bet on this fight. I'm not gonna bet on the co-main event either. I'm done betting on co-main events and main events until I know the person I'm betting on is super locked in. Honestly, I'd rather bet that Bahamondes beats Fiziev over this fight. I got high confidence in Bahamondes, but this fight right here, I'm not high confidence on Jamal Hill. I'm not that high of confidence on Khalil Rountree either. I mean, Khalil Rountree, his resume is really beating nobodies. I ain't gonna say nobodies because they're obviously in the UFC, so they're good, but they're nothing close to the resume of Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill has a much better resume than Khalil Rountree. The toughest fight Khalil Rountree had was against Alex Pereira, and he went four rounds with Alex Pereira, and Jamal Hill got knocked out in the first. But we're not gonna play MMA math here. But my pick will be Khalil Rountree. I mean, his striking is going to be more clean than Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill might have that slight edge and power, but the way he leaves his chin up in the air, I believe Khalil Rountree can connect and possibly hurt Jamal Hill, drop him a few times. I mean, he got dropped several times in his last fight against Prochazka. So, yeah, I'm not betting on this fight, though, but it should be a good fight regardless. This fight card's all right. Starts early. I'm going to be at work. I'm going to try my best to get my job done early so I can just pull up ESPN app and fucking watch these fights. So there you have it, UFC International Fight Week. See y'all Saturday.